Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of The TheFadShow. So on this week's episode, I'm going to show you how to take your boring, solid gray door cards from looking like this to looking like this. So if you watched the first episode with my gray-green E46 touring, I think I pointed out how I love this exterior color, but I wasn't super sold on the interior gray color. So I'm just trying to break up the solid gray interior, give it a little more contrast. And to do that, I made these two-tone door cards. So today's going to be a how-to video on how to make these, which are actually pretty easy. It's some pretty basic tools to be able to do this. It is a little bit tedious. It does take a while to do. It's probably like, if you're working slow like me, it's probably like 2 hours per door. I guess if you're really fast, you could probably do it sooner. But at my leisurely pace, that's how long it took me. But as you can see, I'm pretty happy with the results, and I think once I change out the carpet to black and some of the other trim in here, I think it's gonna make the interior look a whole lot better. So with that, let's get to it. So obviously the first step is going to be to remove your old door cards. I actually went ahead and disconnected the battery to do this because you are going to be working in the vicinity of the airbag, although you don't actually disconnect anything on the airbag. And then to remove this trim, I guess this one's already sticking out, but you're just going to pull from this end, and then there's two tabs in here that kind of slide in and out like so. And then there's going to be two Torx T20s here. This has to come out. Alright, now that all the screws are out, you're just going to be using your trim tool to pop this out, and then you're going to have to unhook the door latch once you get the panel off, and you can just like basically open the door and it will kind of slide right off. This has to come out of here, and then there's going to be a connector for the speaker you're going to have to disconnect, which can be a little bit difficult. You might need some gloves because the plastic connectors have been together for 20 years, so they are not very easy to get off. So now that you have the old door panel off, I just used some old floor mats as a protector to protect this from getting scratched. Obviously the gray one I don't really care about. I guess I forgot to mention it at the top of the video, but you are going to need a set of black door panels to do this. I guess you can paint this, but I don't think it'll last very long. We are going to have to take the speakers out of here, so I guess I can go ahead and do that now. Just remove this cone. This one can actually stay in since this is going to be getting transferred to the other panel. These are just Phillips heads that this comes out on. It's also a good time to inspect your speaker and make sure the cone isn't damaged at all. I was thinking of upgrading to the BABS-bound speakers when I was doing this. But mine actually look like they're in pretty good condition. So the cone is very well intact, so I'm not going to bother updating the BABS-bound speakers right now. And then obviously this is just going to fit into your new door panel, so put this for safekeeping. And the next part is gonna be really loud, so I'm not gonna be able to explain it very well, but I guess the general concept is gonna be all these plastic welds on here. I just used a router with a, basically, whatever this sanding wheel is, to basically sand all these out, and then the whole panel will push out. I did actually, for these ones on the plastic section, I did end up using the plastic welder on the other side to do this, but I actually found the plastic welder kind of melted the door panel plastic, and that was kind of what I was trying to save, versus using the grinder where you can kind of have a little bit more freedom when you have this particle board. So this time I might try the grinder here, I'm not entirely sure, but I feel like either way will work. I'll let you know at the end what I think is better. Also, these sound deadening panels eventually will have to get removed, and then eventually this this basically kind of mesh cover that holds the airbag flap, that will have to get pulled off to get to the plastic welds that are under here for the door handle. I guess that depends whether you want to change the door panel color too or not. I'm changing the door handle panel color to black also, so you have to do these larger plastic welds, like this one. There's a few others under here that hold on the armrest. So with that, I guess we'll get to it. One thing I'll mention too is, nerdy as they look, I would go ahead and get yourself a pair of these goggles, because before I was just using safety glasses and I ended up getting a piece of this plastic in my eye. So it was like a $80 copay or whatever trip to the eye doctor when I was doing the other side. So I don't know. Take my advice for what it is. I went ahead and bought a cheap pair of goggles at Home Depot, even though I hate wearing these. I guess this the angle you're gonna have the dremel at, it's just like it can get under your safety glasses. So take that for what it's worth. That's my safety tip. So now comes the much more fun and less noisy and messy part of reassembling everything. So the first thing you want to do is reassemble your door handle. One thing I like to do is, you hear a piece rattling in here, is making sure you vacuum everything out, because obviously you do have lots of little pieces of plastic that are all hanging around, and I imagine that would be a good opportunity later to have a rattle that will drive you crazy. So yeah. For the door panel, I definitely vacuumed out this. I guess I'll just shake it out and make sure there's nothing in there. But yeah, the first step is going to be, obviously this is not an applicable step if you're not changing the color of the door handle. But since I'm changing the color of the door handle, just mock this up. One thing I'll say to you also is it's probably a good time to stop and wash your hands too, because especially the gray, all the dirt shows. So you have to be careful on this part, because some of the screws actually are shared with the other panels. So yeah, just gotta kind of pay attention to that. You might end up taking them apart, but it's not a huge deal. So I'll put all the parts and pieces that I'm using down below, but you're gonna need some 1¼ inch washers, some 3/16 by 1¼ inch washers. These are honestly probably a little too big, but that's what I got. And then you need a lot of hardware. Hopefully I have enough. So for the bigger door handle parts, you're gonna need 3 inch, number 12 by 3/4 inch metal screws. Again, I'll put everything in the description down below. So, but yeah, this part's pretty easy. You're just obviously screwing everything back together with the washers. And of course, after having no issues on the 2 doors I did without filming, on this one I ended up not having enough real estate left over to screw into on the door handle. So I had to build up some plastic with my plastic welder. Conversely, you could use a larger screw, and I think that would correct the issue I had also. week's episodes, guys. I hope you found it informative. Of course, I do 2 door panels before I do this one to film, and those go flawlessly. And this one I run into little snags. I think what happened is I just got a little too comfortable grounding them down. Maybe I ground down the plastic welds more than I did on the others. Anyways, I think you could easily correct the issue like I did with a plastic welder, or if you're willing to get wider screws, if you don't have a plastic welder, I think that would work. Although the plastic welder was like 10 bucks at Harbor Freight. I got it years ago, and it's come in handy quite a few times. So anyways, it's done. I think it looks awesome. I think the entire interior, whatever, looks better. I just think the black gives it a lot more contrast and makes it look a little bit more sporty than just the entire gray. So overall, it was a pretty easy DIY. Like I said before, it's probably gonna take you 2 hours per door, maybe an hour and a half if you're fast, working fast and better at it than I am. Not filming too, but anyways, yeah, definitely very happy with it, and I hope you found this video informative. I'll put all the supplies I used down below to do it. I actually think I'm gonna have to run out and get some more before I do this one last back door, because I'm almost out of washers. But yeah, hope you guys like this video, and as always, if you really liked it, then go ahead, like and subscribe, and stay tuned for more content. Thank you. Bye.